Henshin Inspection presents Writer Tears. This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Prepare yourself for some biting Kamen Rider analysis. My grandmother said this: you have to be kind to be strong. Now, let's go writer chat. Kamen Rider Gavv episode 5 did not disappoint. There's a timer right there. Anyway, I really liked it. It was good. I want to talk about the story stuff first and then go on from there. I was impressed by the fact that this story is continuing to be a little silly and a little goofy, and yet, or it has silly and goofy trappings, but it has good, strong, serious stuff. Probably the biggest thing, and I've seen a lot of discourse about this lately, that, this is going back to traditional Kamen Rider, which I don't know if I called that previously in my reviews, and I'm not going to claim I did right now because I just don't remember if I did or not. But I did notice, and I did make note of the fact that people were calling him a monster, and he was admitting to be a monster in the first episode, and how I liked that, and how, now that we've got him getting, surgery done to him as he was a kid to alter his Gavv, which I love that the sisters call him Little Red Gavv. That's really funny. Like Little Red Riding Hood, kind of a, funny, cute, mocking way to call him. Anyway, I like that he had the surgery done to him as a kid, and that there's like this really complex thing going on with his dad, Bosch, like he doesn't understand what happened. Like his understanding, Shoma's understanding, which his great uncle Dente, seems to contradict a little bit, is that his mother was kidnapped and brought to that world for some reason. And I almost thought for a second they were going to say that she was already pregnant when she was kidnapped, and then maybe they didn't kill her because it's like, we can't press a pregnant human. We don't know what that will do. But no, it does sound like he's literally, like, he was born with a Gavv, which means Bosch and Mrs. What is his mom's name? Anyway, Bosch and his mom actually, made a baby together. I'm assuming he was in his more humanoid form than in his less humanoid form, but you never know, I've seen Wolf Children. Have you seen Wolf Children? Anyway, so, it's a really good movie, by the way. Anyway, he's this half-breed, let's call it, like Kiva, where he's part one thing and part human, and, partly because of that, the children, his older siblings hate him, and partly because he doesn't fit in with them, and probably partly because the way his mother treated him differently and the way his father treated him differently, they have hatred towards him. And it's really interesting. Oh, I did not think about this yet. Like the way that we see Shoma protecting his mom from his dad, it looks like he was abusive. We don't know the full perspective, and Uncle Dente seems to suggest that his father was just trying to protect him, and that's an interesting storyline. It's an interesting concept. I remember back in Kamen Rider Ghost, there were complaints that that there were like abusive or bad parents in that were just forgiven too quickly and too easily, because Takuru's father is like this great man, and he really was, morally good and everything, and he was a good father, and that because of that, Takuru only saw parents as being good and being deserving of respect and love and care or affection. And when there were real bad parents in the story, in the show that showed up, especially towards the end, they were looked at, they were kind of papered over. They were seen through his lens only, through his eye only. Get it? Kamen Rider Ghost? Eyes? Icons? No, okay, it's okay. Anyway, and like, it didn't take into account the victim of the week or the guest character, how their actual experience was with their actually bad parent. And it was just like, let's pretend everything's okay now, which I know people were frustrated by. I don't remember if it was like a detective and his daughter got like Freaky Friday'd. They got switched their bodies by Gon Miser. Again, this is like real late into the show. It's like episode 47 or 46 or something like that. Anyway, like that was a problem. And yeah, I do think it's bad to just suggest that, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you, when you're going to spank your kids and things like that. Like that kind of stuff I don't think is helpful. I don't think it's healthy. It's like, it's almost like teaching to a kid to have like a toxic relationship, which is not good, of course. You should, if you're in a toxic relationship, you should get out of there. But at the same time, this is a kid's perspective that we're seeing, and it could be skewed by lots of different things. It could be skewed by the love of his mother, or love for his mother, and I don't know. There's a lot of other things that I could say here, and of course, the abuse is bad. And I'm not saying it was good abuse. I'm saying I wonder what the deeper story is. I wonder if Kimura is going to do more with this, or if it is just a simple he was abused and his mother was abused by his father, and it was a good thing that they got out of there. I don't know. We haven't seen anything around his father's death. We don't know if his mother mourned the loss of her husband, or whatever. And we don't know how all that works. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But it sets up a very interesting dynamic that, he's wondering, did my father, according to Uncle Dente, he wanted us to be miserable so that we wouldn't get turned into confections? Like, how is that okay? How is that possible? How is that a just thing to do? And he leaves Grandpa and Grandma, or Aunt and Uncle, whatever, from last episode from the farm, because he doesn't want to make them happy, because he's concerned that if he makes them happy, that he will make them ripe for the picking of stomach ink, and he doesn't want to do that. And he also hesitates helping the child in this episode who's lost his little toy, his vinyl figure, in this grate that his mom can't lift up. And he hesitates helping the kid because if he makes him happy, is he going to make him a target for stomach ink? And he ends up having this resolve that it isn't being happy. It isn't making people happy. That is the problem. It's Stomach Inc. choosing to victimize happy humans and turn them into depressed and turn them into spices for their product, for their dark confections. That's the problem. And that's true. Lots of people like to look at things that aren't good or that could be better, and they say that thing shouldn't be happening anymore because that thing in and of itself is evil. However, Kamen Rider, the show, is literally about, the manga's about it, the anime's about it, or not the anime. I wish there was a Kamen Rider manga. That'd be amazing. Anyway, could be amazing. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. It depends who was doing it. Anyway, oh man, we'd get some serious waifu action in that, I think, is the problem. And there's the Kamen Rider anime. There's the, Kamen Rider double anime, the Futo PI. Anyway, Kamen Rider is literally about using things that are evil for good. It's taking the power of evil for good. And I love that concept because it means that no matter what happens to you, you have the power and you have the agency, you have the ability to take what was done to you and to use that as fuel to help you help other people, which I think based on the preview for next episode, that's kind of what we're going to see happen. That's exactly where the show's going. And Shoma has resolved that he will make people happy, as many people as he can make happy. And when Stomach Inc. comes to victimize those who are happy, he will destroy them if he has to stop them. And I love that. I think that's beautiful. And he doesn't have to kill them. He just has to have them, or, make them stop making dark confections. Being that Uncle Dente is the inventor of dark confections, and yet he's living happily in the human world, and he's eating human snacks, not snacks made of humans, but snacks made by humans, but like, Doritos and Hot Cheetos and stuff. It's possible that, like, there's no need for dark confections to exist because they only existed for 100 years, let's say at the most. We don't know how long lived these guys are, but let's just throw it out 100 years. They've only existed for that long, and the authorities apparently want to shut down potentially Stomach Inc. for what they're doing with their dark confections, and Lengo wants to get the rich hooked on them so that they will not allow the Granute government to make laws against it because, like, oh man, you want to outlaw cocaine? I love cocaine. I'm the richest man in the world, and I love cocaine. You, Mr. President, are going to make cocaine legal. I mean, that would make sense. Not that I advise doing cocaine, but I get the logic of where Lengo's going, and I get what the show is saying, I get what Kimura is saying by this idea that, like, the corruption of the government, the corruption of the government by the wealthy is leading this crime family to do more crimes so they can hook the wealthy, who in turn will alter the course of the evil, corrupt government that they have. So what's my point? Government is evil. Oh, yeah. Is that my point? I don't know if that's my point, but it's true. Anyway, so moving on. But I really like how we got to see this whole arc, this whole, forming of the resolution of Shoma to be happy and to make people as happy as possible. And then at the end, he goes back to Sachika and he goes to join her business and she says, you can live here and all this stuff. And so it's great. It's like he's gone on this little journey. He's had this little arc about like running and being scared and not wanting to be connected to people. I compared him to Spider-Man last time because no matter who I love, no matter who I'm close to, like they will become hurt. They'll become a vector to attack me, to get to me, and I don't want to put anybody at risk. And Shoma's, been through that and he's processed that and he's rejecting that and he's saying, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to be as strong as I can. I'm going to help as many people as I can and I'm going to do the best I can to stop these guys from hurting other people. And I think that's good and I think it's beautiful. I think it's noble. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. Yeah, it like the show has such heart. It's really entertaining. The fights are really good. Getting the understanding that his little gochis, his little helpers, his little munchkins. I can see why they went with munchkins in, I don't know who subs those were. I think that was Geo subs. Anyway, I can see why they went with munchkins. But like the munchkins being his little minions, and then do they call the agents munchkins then too? Because they're not tiny little guys. But anyway, whatever. But like those agents coming out of their belts, like that makes sense. Like so, they eat something, and then their stomach pushes out something because it converts whatever into whatever, and that is an agent for them who can work and do stuff, which is a pretty interesting concept. And I didn't really get it at first, but now it kind of makes a lot more sense to me. And if they're consumable and they can do things on their own, it would make sense that you would have these agents out there in the world that would come from, I guess, your monster stomach thing that you've got going on here. And it's just kind of an interesting concept. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I invite you to comment, ask questions, and share your thoughts with me. It's always more fun when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, be well and do good things. Visit mjmunoz.com for more of my work and help me build up the Fortress Fiction.